It's finally here. NFL season. I was fired up for the preseason, and then I was fired up for Hard Knocks. And so you can imagine my excitement that they're going to play actual meaningful games now. We'll talk about the Thursday night game as we do the show live on a Thursday night here. If you're watching us on TV, you already know who won between the Lions and Chiefs, but we'll talk about that game anyway. We've got our season predictions coming up. Who's winning the Super Bowl? And is it 58? I hate Roman numerals. I didn't like math to begin with.
LVII?
Yeah.
Yeah,
58. Okay, so Super Bowl. Can we just do 5-8 NFL? That would be a lot easier for people like me. Super Bowl 58, we'll make our predictions. We'll pick our division winners as well. We've got college football to talk about. I am making a little bit of a bold prediction when it comes to the New York Yankees.
We're still on the Yankees,
season.
Okay.
This season. I told you it'd be worth watching with Jasson Dominguez. It's Onorato and Miller. Let's go.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpen House.
Shout out to Alpen House, all of our local business partners here on the show, supporting us each and every single week. All right, Ash, let's go. We have to start with the NFL, right? No, we're starting with college football because I think the most interesting thing to come out in the last few days are the comments of Caleb Williams' father, who's in a GQ article, and he's already taking the stance of Eli Manning, John Elway, putting it out there that, you know, depending upon what team has the first overall pick, maybe my son isn't going to be in this year's draft. He's first year eligible this year. And so here are the comments, Ash, that
not going to be great, whatever the situation.
That Caleb Williams' father made here. What do you think about this? Funky thing about the NFL draft process is he, talking about Caleb, would almost be better off not being drafted than being drafted first.
I think he's 100% correct. He knows this is the problem. He knows exactly where his kid is going to go if he has the number one overall, if he's drafted number one overall this season. He knows exactly where it's going to go, and it's a bad situation, and one that will probably have its third quarterback in 5 years. The Arizona Cardinals. It is a disaster. They cut Colt McCoy and basically have just said, hey, we're about ready to tank. We're not ready to name our quarterback, and you couldn't name a quarterback on our roster because we've cut Colt McCoy, and it's not going to be Kyler Murray. Who's going to start for us? We're not going to tell you. We're in the sweepstakes. We're in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, and why would you want to go play for that team? It's a mess.
But weren't the Bengals a mess before Joe Burrow?
Not like this.
Be the transcendent talent. And Kyler Murray was on his way there, but he obviously can't stay healthy, and he's too little to play the position at the NFL level anyway. If you're Caleb Williams, and take on the challenge of being the face of a franchise and bringing them to the playoffs and out of this hole that you're talking about, right?
I get it.
I'm not saying he would be taking the easy way out by going to, well, the Texans aren't going to draft a quarterback.
Right.
Indianapolis, maybe they're not going to either with Richardson. Right. I mean, there are a lot of teams that necessarily aren't going to need a quarterback in the top 5 potentially. Now, we know teams get really like quarterback desperate when the NFL draft rolls around, but I don't think it's as simple as picking his spot. Like, I don't want to go to Arizona. I'd rather go to maybe Las Vegas. Vegas is a real option here because you're looking at a Garoppolo contract that is not guaranteed beyond this year. They're not going to be very good anyway. But do you like the situation in Vegas? I mean, Josh McDaniels will get fired this year, don't you think?
But they have better pieces. It just feels like, doesn't it feel like, I know you compared it to the Bengals. The Bengals were a disaster. But ever since they got Zach Taylor, it feels like things have slowly turned around. Mm-hmm. The Arizona Cardinals from top to bottom have made poor decisions. And the quarterback position itself, like, I just can't justify the Josh Rosen to Kyler Murray to then taking Caleb Williams number 1 overall. Everything about it feels bad. And Caleb Williams doesn't make that team a winner by himself. We saw it. Kyler Murray doesn't make that team a winner by himself.
Right.
They need to do so much more as an organization. That organization feels different to me than the Cincinnati Bengals.
So be the foundation.
I get it.
change.
But those guys before him also thought they were the foundation. It just feels like a different situation to me.
Yeah. Okay. It's just kind of interesting that
But he's right.
We're like,
is he not?
2 games into the college season, and we're already talking about Caleb Williams, the foregone number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and maybe that changes.
And NIL has changed all this too.
Yep.
Go back 3 years, and there's no way Caleb Williams stays at USC for another year. But reports are that he's going to make about $3 million this year through NIL. He's going to make a lot more as the number 1 overall pick. But NIL doesn't force guys to chase the money anymore the way they used to. So
they don't have to.
He has a little bit of the luxury here to say, and honestly, he could probably flirt with USC boosters and say, hey, I'm thinking about leaving.
You want me to stay?
What can you do for me?
Give me the money. Show me the money, as
it's
they
just,
say.
we're opening night of the NFL, and this is kind of where we are. But when I saw the headline, I just was surprised.
It's a great quote.
Carol's watching. We knew she would for sure. The Rockman is still on this here. Welcome to the Onorato and Miller and Rocco show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
As long as you keep commenting, we'll give you a little bit of credit.
Yeah, no doubt. Adam is a big Cowboys fan, as we know. He's always locked in during NFL season. We appreciate that. He says his money, though, tonight is on Detroit. Interesting. No Kelsey. And I know Kelsey's questionable. He's going to test that leg pregame. Something tells me he's going to play.
Sure. But
now,
my thing is, like, you don't need to. And
the other side of it is it's a Thursday game. You give him more time on the other end.
Stephen A was out there saying, why would you play him? And I agree. It's if you lose in week 1, it's no big deal. I don't think. Make sure he's 100% and make sure that's good to go. Yeah. Should we tell the people we have a live audience tonight?
Please.
We've got a live, if you hear him in the background, we've got a live audience in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our best friends, Jen and Tony, are here learning how to podcast, sort of. Making us dinner while they learn how to podcast, which we're not really teaching them much of anything. But live audience. So the pressure's on.
Okay. Rockman says he likes the Lions tonight too. Quick pick here because we're doing the show live on a Thursday. It'll be dated by the time it hits TV. You like Detroit or Kansas City tonight?
Are we talking spread? What's the spread?
Sure. 4.5. It was 6.5. The Kelsey injury moved it to 4.5. Chiefs favored by 4.5.
I'll take the Chiefs.
Me too. All day long. Kelsey doesn't even have to be out there. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is out there, people. And this is a home game for the Chiefs coming off a Super Bowl. They're going to hang the banner. They're going to do the whole celebration. Super Bowl winning teams win these openers. And Andy Reid is phenomenal in the month of September. He's so great coming off bye weeks. We talk about it all the time. This is a full offseason bye that he's been on. He will be as prepared as ever for this game against Detroit.
And I know you really like the Lions.
Well,
I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
If you really like the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know if I really like the Lions.
Okay.
Do you really like
than I do.
Colorado? Is this Buffs team for real? They beat TCU 45-42 in the season opener. Coach Prime. How about these stats are crazy. Colorado last year was 1-11. Coach Prime comes in. Basically, I mean, you revamped the entire roster.
Already as many wins.
One defensive starter from last year.
Already as many wins.
Has as many wins. And they led at halftime at TCU. Colorado hadn't had a halftime lead since 2021.
That's something.
Now, what are we reading? I hate the people who are like, this is a team that played for the national championship last year. No, they aren't. They lost everything on offense. Everything. This is not the same team, and they still put up 42.
Yeah.
So is Colorado, I'll say, for real, meaning will they be bowl eligible at the end of the season? Will they have 6 wins?
Yes. That's it. That's a quick yes for me.
Yeah.
And I think you said it best when we were talking about it. They're going to be competitive in every game, and they're going to win some games that people didn't think they would win this year.
Yeah, I mean, they'll win this weekend.
I don't think they're going to win the conference because you know what? The Pac-12 is, I think, a lot better than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
I also don't think TCU is anywhere near the 17th ranked team in the country, and I think we're going to discover that as time goes on. Preseason rankings don't mean as much until you figure out what a team looks like. Yep. But I think Colorado will be ranked in the top 25, and I think it will be very soon. And I think they're just fun to watch. This is the best story in college football.
Ooh.
The best story. Do you have a better one? The best story.
I don't know yet.
No. Coach Prime is Coach Prime is where it's at. He's the best story in college football.
Yeah.
He's likable.
Mhm.
The guys are likable.
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders is
Heisman
the
favorite.
real deal.
Yeah.
Heisman favorite, other than the guy across
Travis
the
Hunter.
field from him who plays both sides of the ball,
Yep.
who looks like nothing. He's like the Shohei Ohtani, basically.
Did I say
of
that out
college
loud the
football.
other day? Are you stealing that from me?
No, I don't.
Because I've thought that. I've thought
You didn't say it to me.
in our lifetime, we have Shohei Ohtani, which has never been seen before in baseball.
Mhm.
And it's been played for more than a century. We have Travis Hunter now, and that's never been done. It's never been done. And don't give me Jim Thorpe. It's never been done before at this level. And so Charles Woodson won the Heisman in 97, and he was like a part-time offensive guy. Hunter played 100 and how many snaps on Saturday?
Yeah.
This is insane.
And
Now,
was
can he really keep it up over the course of a full year?
I don't know.
Probably not. But man, it's fun.
but he was arguably the best player on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Like he was the best defensive player for sure,
Yeah.
based on targets and the number of receptions of the guy he was covering. And he was one of the best offensive players. I mean, he's unbelievable. He was the number one overall, I was going to say
Recruit.
pick, number
Yep.
one overall recruit for a
Yep.
reason. Deion got him to Colorado. The question is,
He would have had him at Jackson State.
does Deion stay for the 3 years that he's eligible for?
Yeah.
You don't think Deion leaves after 2 years? Shadeur's 2 more years of eligibility.
Hunter will go wherever Deion goes. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter now.
that's true.
Doesn't matter now.
Yeah, that's true.
Deion gets a bigger job. Hunter goes with him.
Yeah. But if Shedeur gets drafted in 2 years, Deion's out.
Probably.
At the next
Yeah.
highest SEC bidder who's a tanker, and they're going to be like, come fix our program.
We're sticking with college football.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Bill Miller and Sean Wilcoxon and the entire crew at Performance Industrial bringing us this segment each and every single week on Onorato and Miller. Ash, this is your Dirty, Difficult, Done this week.
This is mine, and it's a weird one. I watched a good amount of this game, not the entire thing, but a good amount of this game. And my triple D is it's difficult to believe,
Mhm.
but Duke football is the real deal. And I'm going to preface it. I understand Clemson is not Clemson. This is not
Who
going
are
to be
they?
a Clemson team
Oh.
that I don't, well, if they make the college football playoff, it's because they win the ACC and no big deal. But maybe they don't win the ACC this year. But Duke is a team for the first time in a very long time, after a very good season last year under a rookie head coach, that looks like they know what they are doing. And this is a basketball school that finally looks like it understands how to play the game of football. It's been a very, very long time. I know they had Daniel Jones. I get it. But it's been a very long time.
I don't know that it's ever been. You saying it's been a long time, but I couldn't tell you the year that it was any good.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since, if ever, that
Yeah.
it looks like they play like they played like a team that knew what they were doing on both sides of the ball. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens to Clemson, because I think the jury's out on Cade Klubnik, despite the fact that every analyst under the sun called him the second coming, and they thought he would be the best quarterback in maybe his draft class. But I think that Duke is going to be legit, and I think they're going to give a lot of teams a lot of problems. And in a conference that isn't very good, you've already beaten arguably the best team in that conference. Can Duke go, well, FSU
Yeah.
for this year? For this year, they're soon to be gone. Can they compete with that and maybe win an ACC title?
If you put Florida State on Clemson on the same field, I don't care
Florida
where
State
I don't care where that field is.
Florida
I mean,
State
did you
wins.
see what Ethan Travis?
Yeah.
I mean that
Yeah.
team is
Yeah,
built
I
to
agree.
win this year big time.
Jared Verse,
And Jared
our
Verse,
guy Jared
the
Verse.
UAlbany guy. Let's talk about UAlbany here for a second
Yeah.
here. And I'll get to my Performance Industrial Dirty, Difficult, Done in a little bit. So UAlbany is playing at Hawaii Saturday night, midnight Eastern.
11:59 p.m. Stay up, check it out.
The coach is not on the trip.
Poor Coach G.
Greg Gattuso is ill and couldn't make the trip.
I mean,
I texted with him last night and I said, this trip has been planned for 8 years. You picked this week to not feel your best. He said he's feeling better and on the mend. But
don't you feel awful for him?
of course.
I mean,
of course.
Not like hey, I didn't get to go to Pittsburgh, which I know he loves Pittsburgh, but he goes to Pittsburgh all the
Marshall,
time.
for crying out loud.
But like, hey, I didn't get to go wherever to Montana.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't get to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it's they're in Hawaii for a full week, like enjoying the sights, practicing, yes, but the history of that state and Coach G's home.
Yeah. Rockman likes you, Albany.
Rockman always likes you, Albany.
35-27.
It's a close score this week.
Yeah. Look, this is a game that you Albany could win. Played Marshall really tough, and Marshall's a good football team.
Everything it could handle.
Hawaii's better than they were last year, but they're still not great.
Okay.
This is a game that and I said this to somebody today, and Greg won't see this, so I really don't care. I'd rather leave the head coach home than the quarterback. If you said, hey, we got to leave one of them home, Gattuso or Poffenbarger, give me the quarterback. I want him in Hawaii. Makes plays on the field.
We got to leave one of them home, and you're going to say, leave Greg home.
Yeah.
Leave Coach G home.
Yeah, I'd rather just have the quarterback healthy and ready to go, and Reese is, and that's why this team has a legit opportunity.
Rockman knocking my cues.
Of course. All right, let's take a quick break here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, we're going to get into the NFL season, of course. We've got our predictions, division winners, Super Bowl champ, and we're picking week 1 games too.
Week 1
against the spread. We were terrible last year.
Didn't we just
look
make
at
it
any better?
We
Probably
made
not.
it just back above 500.
Yeah,
or
maybe.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
did.
if you did.
No, I tanked like the Cardinals.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
You've heard of unsung heroes. The men and women of Naiskoba are the unseen heroes. For the past year, you've learned about our many charitable endeavors. Now it is my privilege to share with you the work performed by our members, the 20,000 state correction and law enforcement officers shielded from view. They work in difficult and dangerous conditions and are an extension of the police who protect our neighborhoods. Naiskoba honors New York's police and firefighters and salutes its own members who help deliver a peaceful night's sleep.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Back on Onorato and Miller here. Yeah, sponsored by Alphen House. Andy Heck, Katie Osborne, the great family that runs Alphen House. A major expansion happening there and just totally revamping the store in Amsterdam. We'll be out there to see it happening. We showed you the pool and spa section that was redone. Mm-hmm. We'll show you the ski shop that is currently being redone as well. I think full on grand reopening scheduled for sometime in October. We'll be there for that. All right. People are talking about the Yanks in our group chat, and we'll get to that here in a second.
I'm not even talking about the Yanks anymore.
But this is opening night in the NFL. Ash and I both like Kansas City to cover on Thursday night as we do the show live.
You got to hit an 8:20 kickoff.
Yeah, I won't see much of it. You know that.
I might not see much of it. Happy first day of school, everyone.
Yeah, how was your first day of school?
I had the first day of school in a very long time, and it was awesome.
Good.
It was awesome.
I think that people know that you're now working for North Colony and Shaker High School, where you graduated from. Yep. But first day of school.
First day of school, we got to go around. The first day of school. I didn't enjoy the first day of school when I was in school.
I hated the anxiety of the lead up to it.
The nerves, the uncertainty. Like once you're into school, all good. But everything that's uncertain about the first day of school, I never liked. I liked to know like the known, entities. And once you get in after the first week, all good. But the first day of school was great for me. And I didn't have to go to school. So that was part of it. I saw all of my favorite people in the district today.
Very cool. Sam is checking us out. Internet issues, Sam. We're good.
So
we're flying.
So far, knock on wood. But we have some big storms up here.
So Ann King, who is just a freaking warrior in
Ann,
life.
We love you.
She is a Drew grad, and I'm rocking.
She's a grad?
Am I wrong, Ann? Ann will tell me. She worked there, I'm pretty sure, but I thought Ann went there.
I didn't know that. If it's true, I didn't know.
Facts don't matter on this show. It's a good story. We like to tell it.
That's not true.
That's really all that matters is entertainment,
Don't
right?
say things like that.
It's all that matters.
But we love Drew.
We do love Drew. All right, let's get into our picks here for the season, and then we'll get into week 1 of the NFL. We're not picking 6 games this week. We're picking 5 because we do whatever we want. All right, here's the NFC for me. I wanted to talk myself into somebody other than the Eagles in the East.
Can't.
I could. I tried. I thought Dallas could.
They could.
They're very talented, but this is still the most talented roster in the division. And yes, Jalen Hurts will take a little bit of a step back for me, but Philly's still the best team in the division. I trust that they will find a way to win the division. Then I got to the North and I thought, everybody's on Detroit. I will find a different team to win this division. But the only other team, and I know you'll laugh, the only other team that I can just is Green Bay. The defense is loaded with talent. It hasn't played that way, but they continue to use first-round picks. They picked 2 guys from Georgia in the first round last year. So if those guys play better, there's Jair Alexander's one of the best corners in the NFL. They have the potential, and they used another first-round pick this year in a pass rusher from Iowa. They have the potential to play really well. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, you're not going to find a better two-headed backfield in the NFL than those guys. The offensive line is really good. Love showed promise in the preseason, but that's the preseason. The wide receiving core is very young, so that's a little bit of a strike against them. So I said, I have to go to Detroit, so I stayed with Detroit. Then in the South, I'm on the Saints here. People are loving the Falcons, and they're thinking maybe the Panthers, and I'm like, what do you guys do? What is happening here?
They have Bryce Young and nobody else.
The Saints have as many talented receivers as probably any team in the league.
And now they have a quarterback.
So give me New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they have a backup plan for Derek Carr if Carr doesn't work out either. So give me New Orleans. San Francisco's just too good. I don't know that I'm 100% all in on Purdy. I'm not saying last year was fool's gold, but at some point, doesn't he look at some point like the very last pick in the draft from a year ago? But the Niners are loaded up, and they have Nick Bosa back. We'll talk about that in a second. My wild card teams, Dallas is too talented to miss the playoffs, no matter how much McCarthy might try to screw things up. Give me Seattle. Geno is playing really well under Pete Carroll. Really good receiving options. Jackson Smith and Jigma might have a huge year. They run the ball well. And then I've got Green Bay because I just have to. I have to believe before the season even starts that this team has the potential to make the playoffs. And
you just talked about how unsure Jordan Love was and how unsure this
was and how
unsure that was, but they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, everything else is good. All right, your NFC.
All right, my NFC, it looks a little similar to your NFC, but I'm taking Philadelphia for the same reasons you did. I also think that Jalen Hurts takes a step back, but I believe that, and I don't know that they had an underrated draft. I thought they had one of the best drafts of any team in the league, adding everyone from Georgia, essentially. Their defense should be better, and I just think that they're too talented to lose that division. That division is not good. It's better. It's not good, though. I think it's a very, competitively mediocre division. Anyone could win that division, but it's not a good division. In the North, I'm going dark horse here. I think so many people are on the Lions. I'm unsure of the Lions. They're a much better team. I think they'll be close to 500. I'm out on the Packers. That leaves me with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings to win the division. Okay. I love Kirk Cousins. He's my new favorite NFL player because of nothing more than quarterback on Netflix. I love him. I think he's a likable dude. And when you have I'll say the best wide receiver in the NFL in Justin Jefferson, I think that combination alone can win you a lot of games in a division that is, again, kind of uncertain. I also like New Orleans for the same reasons that you did. They finally have a quarterback. They're super talented, and it's a terrible division. And in the West, San Francisco's too talented to lose it. I know a lot of people who are on Seattle, they're in as a wild card team for me as well, but I don't think they get it done. I don't think they're good enough to win that division. So my wild cards are similar to yours, Dallas and Seattle, and I put Detroit in as a wild card. Okay. So I have your Packers not making the playoffs.
That's okay. We'll surprise some people, including you. Here's my AFC, and I've been on this team for a while. If you see the show, listen to the show, whatever, you know that a few weeks ago I said the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East.
You're
staying with Miami here.
Sticking with it.
All this hinges on Tua being healthy, obviously.
That's the big question mark.
You could say that about any team with a quarterback. The Jags don't win the South if they don't have Trevor Lawrence.
But
it feels like more important that the Dolphins have Tua for some reason. What he was doing when he was healthy last year was historic. The yards he was putting up, the efficiency that he was completing passes.
How many games did he play?
Oh boy, that's tough
7?
now. More than that.
8?
Yeah, more. Yeah.
8 and me. I don't think it's much more than
Skylar Thompson was in there for a little bit,
They're
and
in a
they still
couple.
got to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they still got to the playoffs. So give me Miami. Everybody's on the Jets and Bills. I'm on Miami. Cincinnati in the North. And this one for me was like not a coin flip, but I don't love the Bengals defense this year. The secondary has lost a lot of guys, but they still have Burrow. And the suggestions that like now he's going to start a holdout because he doesn't have his contract yet are ridiculous. Give me the Bengals, although I think Baltimore and Pittsburgh are really good, and Cleveland is just kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville in the South, not much more needs to be said there. Kansas City in the West, probably not much more needs to be said there either. My wild card teams, the Jets.
You love the AFC East.
The Steelers, and the Bills. Jets, Steelers, Bills.
3 teams from the AFC
3 teams
East.
from the East.
You love the East.
Your AFC.
I do like the AFC East. Our winners are different. My AFC East champ is Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I am out on the Dolphins. I don't think Tua can stay healthy, and even if he is, I don't think he is. That's the be all end all for me. Is I don't think he'll stay healthy. I love Josh Allen. The window is closing for that team, but I think they still win that division. Cincinnati in the North for me. I like the Ravens, but again, I'm not sold. They added a lot of pieces, and good for them. And we'll see if OBJ makes any sort of difference at this point in his career. With a guy like Lamar Jackson, it becomes interesting. But that's about it for me. Jacksonville in the South, like you said, nothing more needs to be said. And Kansas City in the West for me because they're Kansas City and this is what they do. My wild card teams, I'll take one more team out of the AFC East in the New York Jets because I think Aaron Rodgers gets them there. I think they're an incredibly talented team. This will be the best Jets team we've seen since they made an AFC championship game way back when under Rex Ryan.
9 and 10.
And then I'll take Pittsburgh because I think Kenny Pickett is the real deal. And they're a good team, and I think they can compete for a title in that division, but I'm going to put them in as a wild card. And I'll take San Diego in the West.
I was waiting for this. Who?
Oh, sorry, LA. My bad. The LA Chargers.
Right.
Old habits die hard. I wrote in San Diego.
I get it.
I'll take the Chargers because I love Justin Herbert, and I think he's one of the best arms in football. I think they get there eventually. I just don't know. I'm still unsure on them, but I love Justin Herbert. So they're in for my wild card team.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
The Los Angeles Chargers. Victor, who's been part of the show here for the last few weeks, new to the show. We appreciate that. Big Bills fan. He's been a Bills fan for 45 years, picking the Bills to win the division and then the Super Bowl as well. How about this note from Ann? And of course, it's from Ann, who's a sports information director. Tonight marks the first time on opening night of the NFL season Tom Brady is not on a team. We'll see how Sunday ceremony goes if he's a player or a fan by night's end.
He might be playing for the Patriots. They may be like, Mac, you're out.
Well, he's an owner of the Raiders now. He could just suit up for Vegas, right?
Would that surprise you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think he's done.
But wouldn't that be his ultimate revenge on Jimmy G, who he already shipped out of town from? Yeah.
I'll take your job.
All right, so on to the playoffs here. My NFC championship game, Niners over the Eagles. And in the AFC, this is way off the board. I've got an all Florida title game, Miami over Jacksonville. No, I'm sorry. I've got Jacksonville over Miami. And then I've got the Niners beating the Jags.
So we're both
in Super Bowl 58. Niners over the Jags.
I mean,
not a big ratings winner for the NFL.
No. You know what? It might be okay, though. You have star power, which is what the NFL wants. But
do you?
If the Jacksonville Jaguars make the Super Bowl,
you will do what?
I don't know. I mean, what do you need? Where do you want to go? I'll take you on a trip.
I'm just saying.
You can pick the baby moon.
Yeah. Okay. Here you go.
Although the baby moon has to be before. Yeah, before the Super Bowl.
Before the Super Bowl. So, anyway, Niners over the Jags. All right, Ash, your
my picks.
Yeah.
Oh, did I not pick
no, but
all the way? I just gave you a Super Bowl pick. Sorry about that.
Bengals over the Niners, like it's 1980 whatever.
Bengals over the Niners. I'm just I am not that I'm sick of the Chiefs. They'll be in it. I don't think the Bills get it done. So I went Bengals over the Niners. I think the Niners, for me, they've kind of been the team that I have thought was going to get there in the past 5 years. I think they have such incredible talent. They've drafted super well. They've gotten lucky in a lot of cases. I mean, they've got their pick of, like, all of a sudden Bryce Purdy turns into this phenom who wins 8 straight games to end a season, and they didn't even know that existed in him.
Right.
And they've always had great defenses. Shanahan just has the ability to make things work. And I think if Bryce Purdy, it continues to be the real deal, that this team, the sky is the limit for them. I'm still going to take Joey. And I think maybe it's his time. Who knows? But I'm out on the Chiefs. I'm giving the Bengals their chance. I think they get it done.
Our guy, John Conlon, who makes this show look as good as it possibly could with the two of us on it, says Jets going to blow up all these predictions. That's the best game in week 1, right? And we'll get to our week 1 picks here. But, I mean, that Monday night game, could the NFL have scheduled this any better?
So good.
Right, get back-to-back nights at MetLife. Cowboys, Giants, Bills, Jets.
It's so good. So good.
Pretty good openers in prime time. This is a league that knows
what
it's
to me,
doing.
like tonight, underwhelming. I mean, it's decent still.
I think
Decent
it's interesting, though. Everybody's on
interesting.
Detroit. So let's see. How do they play at Arrowhead in prime time against the Super Bowl
It's
champs?
interesting. But I want Bills Jets tonight. Or I want, I want Giants Cowboys tonight. I think those games to me are just a little bit better. Got some more juice.
So Bosa gets the richest contract for a defensive player in NFL history. Not really a surprise that would happen. It's like everybody it just keeps leveling up. I don't know. Can Bosa be effective in week 1 when he hasn't been in camp all year?
He's been being a freak in the gym. That's like what that guy does. He will be in great shape. He will know the playbook like the back of his hand. Nothing is new to him. This is not a new coaching staff. He will be he will be effective, and he's going to be needed. We talked about that Pittsburgh team, and that's on the road. That's on the road. That's a game that will probably present challenges for them. I think they're going to need him. But when you got that much money, you're making $34 million a year. Divide that by how many games we play in? 17?
Yep.
$2 million a game. So we're talking $2 million a week.
It's not bad.
Basically. Yeah, I think you could do okay with that.
Guess I could sign up for that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take another quick break here on Onorato and Miller. Back in a minute. We've got the week 1 pick still to come. My dirty difficult done about the New York Yankees. Back right after this.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
Life is about making memories. It's about sharing special moments with those we love and cherishing those moments forever. And what better way to create those memories than by spending time together in a space that is as beautiful and as special as the memories we create. Visit Alpenhaus on Route 30 in Amsterdam and Clifton Park Center and let us handle the heavy lifting. Take advantage of free local delivery and we'll haul away your old grill or patio furniture.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Novice, Saratoga Eagle, Michelob Ultra, Marcella's, and of course, Nyscoba, as well as Performance Industrial. We'll get to my dirty difficult done here in a moment. But these are a couple of fun things here. And this has been out for a while, but the season's starting. We'll bring it back around here. There's a bar in Milwaukee that will pay the tab of customers when the Jets lose this season. A little fun with Aaron Rodgers.
That's going to cost them a lot
So
of
what
money.
you have to do is, if you are a customer at this bar in Milwaukee,
Put money.
you have to have your tab open no later than 15 minutes into a Jets game. So you can't, in the fourth quarter, open up a tab and start ordering a bunch of shots, and then the bar is going to honor your tab. You know what I mean? And because the Jets are down by 2 touchdowns. So you've got to be it'll bring some business
No
in
doubt.
because
Just-
people think they're
It's gimmicky.
going to get a free
Yeah,
tab.
yeah,
Right.
And you want.
But it's a fun way for people to kind of root against Aaron Rodgers if you're a Packers fan.
That's cool.
That one's kind of funny.
Yeah, I
We've
love
seen
it.
other similar things like
I
that.
like it.
This is the best one, though. There's a bar in Cincinnati that is offering 9-cent sad girl shots over the Joe Burrow engagement news. So the rumor is out there that Burrow is engaged.
I missed it.
It just came out today. There's a rumor out there that Burrow is engaged, and
9 cents.
Well, he wears number 9.
But I know, but what is in this shot?
It's nothing exciting. It's Bailey's with a little chocolate syrup and whipped cream.
Oh, I'm all about that.
So you might need
but I'm all
you might need
about
like
it.
10 9-cent sad girl shots, but still a kind of a cool little gimmick here.
I mean, listen,
Sad girl
9 cents,
shots.
very affordable. I mean, you could do 10 of those things and probably still be all right.
We made our Super Bowl picks here. The current odds on FanDuel to win it all. Kansas City, of course, is the favorite. Philly's right behind them. Buffalo 9-1, Cincinnati and San Francisco, which is actually your Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah.
Both 10-1.
All right.
Dallas.
Maybe I should put some money on that.
Value with the Jets and the Ravens at 18-1. Yeah.
That's good. Listen, that's a lot of these teams are good value. I'm not betting favorites. You got to take the value. I think the value Cincinnati down is pretty great.
That's the sweet spot right there. Cincinnati and San Francisco.
Yeah, and I would say
one
even
of those
like
teams at 10-1.
Take a flyer on the Jets for 18-1. Like you're gonna make some good money if they hit for you.
Yeah, you've got the Jets in the playoffs, right? I have the Jets in
do.
the playoffs as well. Is there any part of you that feels like that thing could flame out? That it's just not gonna live up to the hype?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that
like
could definitely
disastrously,
happen.
like 6-11.
No,
okay.
I don't think disastrously, but could they not make the playoffs in that division?
And in that conference?
Yes, certainly. The answer is yes. I mean, the AFC is by far the superior conference, and I think that division is the best division. Is it the best division in football? I think it's the best division of football.
Got to be.
But if the Jets flame out and Tua is never on the field, you could go from the best division in football to the Buffalo Bills. Like that. It's crazy how this sport works.
Since we moved to the night slot, haven't heard from Nick.
I
Nick,
know,
it's good to have you, buddy.
Tough,
Sorry,
man.
6:30 at night now on Thursdays, but he says Who Day going all the way, and that's Ashley's pick to win the Super Bowl. Sam likes the Jets and the Cowboys.
I would have a really tough time with that. Jets, Cowboys, Super Bowl. Tone, what do you think, man? No. Tough. Tough.
Doesn't sound like Tony would be watching that one either.
Tough to watch.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I watch it for Aaron Rodgers, but
there's
not a lot of interest for me.
All right. On to some baseball. Baseball still?
I can't believe you're still talking about the Yankees.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
All right. So our live studio audience here, Tony says they're alive. Yankees are alive. And
The last time they were 69-69 and the season was like 1912.
Well, now
that's not real.
But now
it was a long time ago.
now they're 70-69 and they've won 5 straight with Jasson Dominguez in the lineup. And
He's
so
fun.
Here's my dirty difficult done. The Yankees road to the playoffs is difficult, but not done.
So are you saying they're going to make the playoffs?
No, I wouldn't.
Well,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a very realistic shot here. Even though a week ago we're like, they're cooked. 2 weeks ago we're like, they're done. Forget it.
They're cooked. I'm still on the cooked train.
5 in a row. And on Thursday here, with still a game against Detroit to go in that series, they're 6.5 out of the wild card spot. And there are only 2 teams in the way. Toronto is one. Texas is the other. The Rangers thing will probably work itself out with the division, so I'm not really worried about them. 6.5 out behind Toronto. And they have 7 games against the Blue Jays left. It's all in front of them. And when you look at the Yankees' schedule, here it is, by the way.
But it could go the other way.
Some winnable series. I mean, you have to do more than just win series, like 23 games to go. You probably have to go 18-5. I mean, something at that clip. Milwaukee, Boston, Pittsburgh, Toronto, big series. Arizona, they're playing for something, but still. Toronto, Kansas City. Can you imagine? They're within shouting distance of this thing. They go into the final series of the season, 2 games out of the wild card. You got a series at Kansas City sitting there in front of you.
If you get that far. I think that obviously the hurdles are Boston, who they haven't played well against this year, and 2 series against Toronto. That's it. I mean, it's decided before you get to that series. I don't think it hangs in the balance going to KC, my opinion.
Okay. What do you think of Jasson Dominguez so far?
I like him. I haven't really watched him. We talked about this.
3 homers in 5 games.
Yeah, I'm not watching the Yankees because I still don't think they have a great shot at making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So my interest level has waned. But he's fun. He has been what they have said he would be.
Yes.
And that's hard to do sometimes.
And I said last week, he makes this team now watchable. But they're more than that. I thought it would just be like, okay, they're not going to make the playoffs. They wouldn't be close to the postseason, but at least they call up their 2 young guys and let's see what they can do. But now they're winning with him.
They are.
I
just don't keep winning with him.
You give up on them yet, right?
Okay.
I don't know. It seems like there's enough juice there still for the Yankees to potentially make a run at this thing. They'll make it interesting. And as we say, like, baseball's always better with them. Good,
no doubt.
In it.
That's always how it goes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Big college football game this weekend. Ash has said about one of the teams that college football is just better when this team is good. Are they good enough
100%
to win at Tuscaloosa this coming weekend? And we've got our week 1 picks in the NFL still to come. Back right after this.
Whether you're into lounging, cruising, or just relaxing, summer fun starts with Alpenhaus. Enjoy a smooth ride that'll change the way you boat forever on a Barletta pontoon powered by Mercury Outboard. Nobody makes a more reliable, powerful lineup of outboard motors than Mercury to continue propelling your adventures. Now's the perfect time to buy a new Barletta pontoon with the legendary performance of a Mercury outboard. Alpenhaus, Route 30, Amsterdam, and alpenhausboats.com.
I don't care what kind of stories that's been told on you. That may be a lot of things in life you used to do. If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just do the best you can.
Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs and 95 calories.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
There's some chatter here about Syracuse football. And look, I love me some Dino Babers, right? Love me some Dino Babers.
I didn't say they were good.
They absolutely rolled in their first game, as Sam points out. Was it really 65-0?
65-0.
I mean, I thought it was, I think it was 37-0 at the half, and I stopped paying attention.
Listen, I think I said this to you: 65-0 against Colgate. Take that with a grain of salt. Take it however you may. But to hang 65 points against a college football
and shut out the other
and to not give up any, I don't care if you do that against Sienna's club team. That to me is a significant win because in the past they have not done that to teams. That has not been a thing for them.
Yeah.
Even in the cupcake, games, they haven't done that. So my positive thinking has gone up a little bit about
They win this week
against Western Michigan. Please. Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
Have to. Power 5
It's at the Dome.
Yeah, have to. All right. Here's the one big college game that's on the docket for this weekend. And people would be drawn to like Colorado, Nebraska just because and that type of stuff. But it's Texas at Alabama. And what an opener they played last year. If not for the injury to Quinn Ewers, it might have been a different game. But Bryce Young just showed how special he is in that comeback. And now you've got Texas playing at Alabama this year. For weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to the season, I thought Texas is going to win the Big 12 and they're going to win at Alabama. But
no.
You're a no on that. You would pick it. You're picking Alabama.
Yeah.
I think I'm backing off that thought too, because there's so much out there this year about Alabama not being as good as they've been or should be or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. That it's Georgia's world. I think Saban has his guys ready. They're firm on the quarterback now. To me,
I think they were always
a night game at Alabama.
You were questioning the quarterback.
Well,
I think they
only because they hadn't announced it.
I think they always knew what the quarterback position was going to be and who it was going to be. They just didn't announce it. This kid is as real as the real deal gets, and he will be their quarterback for the entirety of the season, barring injury.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they will handle Texas.
Okay. We do have confirmation. Ann King is a Drew grad.
All right. Good
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. She
So,
included her graduating
truth is
class. I'm not going to do
The
that.
truth is important.
It is important.
Yeah.
We're always 100% accurate on this show.
You always say, don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. And
Always.
I do that a lot.
That's like rule number 1 on live TV and radio. Don't ask a question you don't have the answer to.
I do it sometimes.
Otherwise, we both look like idiots. All right, let's do our picks. Let's do our picks here. We've got 10 minutes to go on the show. Let's get into our picks. All right, week 1 games here. This is Niners, Steelers. Now, what is my philosophy, Ash, when picking games? Don't look at my track record. It's still my philosophy. What's my philosophy when picking games here?
Home dog.
Home dog. I'm the home team. I'm a good team. I'm a playoff team, and you're giving me points. I will take them. Give me Pittsburgh with the 2.5.
And I sometimes like your way of thinking.
Yeah.
But
except when it's wrong.
Yeah, San Francisco's too good. They're going to have Bosa back. I believe that he'll play.
Oh, yeah.
It's a field goal. For me, this is the thing that I've struggled with. I'm not a bettor. The betting world is foreign to me, and I'm just kind of getting used to how the point spread work in terms of like the points are not as much as you think they are. And I struggled with that last year. I think a field goal, I'm going with the Niners. For me, it's the Niners.
All right. We both have San Fran in the Super Bowl, but I've got Pittsburgh
in week 1.
I'm taking Pittsburgh to win straight up. I'll take
Ooh,
Pittsburgh to win. It's only 2.5. So give me the Steelers to cover, but also win outright. You like the Niners to win and obviously then cover as well. Yeah. Eagles, Patriots. This feels like a spot for Belichick, doesn't it? And in other years, we would say he'll find a way to win this game, even if it was Garoppolo or Brissett starting. I'm not talking about Brady necessarily. But Philly's too good. I'll give the 4.5 to New England on the road. We're both on Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give them 6.5. But yes, we're both on Philadelphia. It's a better team. This is a team that I think we've probably both picked this Patriots team to finish in the basement of that division. Yeah. Which is not to say that they're not going to be improved or better.
Could be 9-8.
Yep. Yeah, or a 500 team. Mm-hmm. But in that division, they will be in the basement. And I just think top to bottom, it's not even really that close.
A note for all the people who love the Eagles to win the Super Bowl this year: only 3 times in the history of the NFL has the team that lost the Super Bowl the year before win the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
1970 Cowboys, 1971 Dolphins, and then not again until 2017 with the Patriots. It just doesn't happen. There's a little bit of a hangover.
I mean, it does, but
generally that team is good enough to make the playoffs again the next year. But there's a little bit of a slide back. And I see that happening for Philadelphia, but we both like them to win and cover at New England. Our third game this week, Dolphins and Chargers. Chargers are the home team, and they're favored by 2.5, which makes sense. Vegas still is kind of like mostly 3 points for home field, although I've heard a lot of people tell me it's more like 2 these days. But we both like Miami here on the road to cover. To win or to cover?
Well, it's so close that
you can lose 31-30.
I say to win.
Yeah, me too.
I say to win.
A lot of points. What's the over under in that game? Take the over. That there are going to be a lot of points in that game. I think Herbert leads the league in passing yards this year. Kellen Moore, the new OC, he has been at the helm of top 5 offenses every year. He was in Dallas. Yep. They threw the ball a ton. I also think there's a weird little bit of a mind game that'll be played with Austin Eckler, that they're going to try to prove we can win without you being a key part and running the ball because of the contract dispute. So give me Herbert to lead the league in passing yards this year.
But not to beat the Dolphins.
And not even to make the playoffs. Ooh, Brandon Staley gets fired. Maybe Kellen Moore gets the job there.
Boy.
Okay. Dallas at the Giants.
We're both.
Here we go. Sunday Night Football on News Channel 13. We both like the Giants as
home dogs.
Home dogs. We're getting 3.5 at home, prime time. Give us the Giants. Why Giants for you?
To be honest with you, I don't really know, because I don't think that that's a better. I do know. I don't think that they're the better team. I'm just going to take them at home, prime time, opener of the season. That stadium is going to be wild because for the first time ever, there are real expectations on that team.
Yeah.
Because I think of what Dable did last year, people thought, well, this is really something. Daniel Jones had a pretty good year.
Yeah,
they think
very.
he can be the guy. They've added a guy like Darren Waller, drafted a guy like Jalen Hyatt. There are some pieces. Obviously, Saquon Barkley was the biggest piece of that puzzle. They have what it takes to be a good team. I just am never convinced that they're going to be, as strange as that sounds. It's my, my jaded.
You don't have them in the playoffs, and neither do I.
Yeah.
But we both like them here to at least keep it really close, if not win. I guess I would say, what do the Cowboys have that the Giants don't?
Better receivers.
Yeah.
Way better receivers.
Ooh, way better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than
that,
they have Micah Parsons, but
the Giants definitely don't have that.
But the Giants have their defense is built really well here. I just
agree.
don't think it's a big gap between these two teams. There is no gap between Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones. You're going to tell me, no, Prescott's more talented. He isn't. Jones is super talented. He's very mobile. He runs the ball well.
I mean, Prescott's unproven when it comes to the big games. But
yeah, to me, it just feels like it's not that big of a gap. The Rockman says he likes the Cowboys.
Yeah, he likes any team that's not mine.
Or playing the Giants. Yeah, he'll pick against the Giants all day long. All right, so we both like the Giants there. How about on Monday night, also at MetLife Stadium here? Bills.
Ooh, we're different on
Jets.
this. Here we go.
This is the game of the week for me. I almost forced us to choose Green Bay and Chicago, which I also think is an infinitely interesting game. Is that not interesting though to you?
It's interesting.
Green Bay and Chicago, right?
This is better.
And it's a small spread as well in that game. But we've got Jets, Bills here. The rating should be through the roof. I don't know if there's a Manning cast or not. I think they start week 2. People will be actually watching the Joe Buck, Troy Aikman broadcast here. I like the Jets. Yes, home dog. But I also think Aaron Rodgers hasn't taken a hit yet. He will take some in this game, but he's healthy. It's the first game of the year. There's a ton of hype. There's going to be a ton of energy in this building.
Yep.
I think it's low scoring. Take the under in this game. Both defenses will get after the quarterbacks. I think it's low scoring. I heard that the Jets held Buffalo last year in the 2 meetings to 20 and 17 points. Defense is just as good as last year.
Or better.
I can't wait for the matchup of Sauce Gardner and Stephon Diggs. I can't wait to see how the Jets offense operates with an offensive line that's very questionable. No Von Miller for Buffalo. So give me the Jets who come into this game healthy. The old quarterback hasn't taken a hit yet. New York.
I'm going to wave the white flag and just concede this to you. That was pretty good. That I picked the wrong team here, and you'll probably win it, and that's okay.
Wow.
But to me, it's just the question marks of we talked about this. Do the Jets, do they live up to the hype? Are they what they could be with a guy like Aaron Rodgers? I think that the Bills are the more proven team. I'll take them in the opener, but you've convinced me that I'm probably going to be wrong. So that's okay.
Hard Knocks was so legit this year.
It's
been a little while for me to really enjoy it, but I liked it this year. Sam has the Jets winning 24-21. Rockman has the Jets 17-14.
Okay. So
your thoughts on Hard Knocks? You saw a little bit of it.
Yeah. So you were watching the other day when I came home. I had lunch at the table and I was just observing the whole situation, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I thought this is fun. It's good. The storylines, it's not always about Aaron Rodgers. They're telling stories about guys who are maybe going to get cut, and it was still super interesting. By the way, Liev Schreiber, if you didn't tell me that was him,
doesn't sound anything like him.
I don't think I would have believed you, because he's got that old school, he sounds like the old NFL Films guy. And he was talking. I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. It takes you back. It feels like you're back in the 1960s listening to some sort of broadcast. It was unreal. Yeah. And most people don't realize it is him. Ann says, I'm going to be tired on the air Tuesday morning. I would be, Ann, if I were working. But I did a little thinking ahead, and I had a little extra time to play with. And I thought, you know what? Still got to work Monday.
Yeah, got to work Monday.
But he can suffer through it.
Have an event I'm going to have to MC Monday night, but I'll be home for kickoff. I think it'll be close, but I should be home for kickoff. Late. And then I thought, you know what? Maybe I just don't go to work the next day.
She says, good planning.
So that's exactly what's going to happen. Here's a recap of our picks here in the final couple of minutes we have on the show. Pittsburgh, Philly, Miami, Giants, Jets for me.
San Francisco, Philly, Miami, Giants, Bills. So we've got 3 the same.
Yep.
2 different.
Okay.
So by next week, I'll be 2
Someone
games.
will be in the
I'll
lead.
be 2 games up on you. Ooh. Just kidding. I've already conceded the 1, so maybe we'll be even.
Yeah, I really went in the tank at the end last year.
So it's funny. Remember how bad I started last
know.
year? I started horrendously.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris was doing pretty well. And then I made a comeback in the second half of the season, overtook you late. And we were very close, though. We were both close to 500, very close.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What else you got? First day of school is in the books.
First day of
How
school.
are you feeling?
Oh, I'm good. I have you can't see it. It's a real thing now.
Yeah,
it's a real bump.
Yeah.
You told me the other day, can I tell you something? You look pregnant. I said, can I tell you something?
You
I
look
am
pregnant.
No. I should have said you look pregnant,
yeah.
but
I would have said, you know what? You're right. I do.
I have something special for you. Ooh. I mean, not that special, but I told Miss Skeels, who is my new boss at Shaker/North Colony, the superintendent.
Okay.
You mentioned something along the lines of a grammar off. And you said, do you think I could grammar off with Miss Skeels?
I did ask that. She was an English teacher, correct?
A very good one. She majored in English in college, then was an English teacher, taught AP courses at Shaker High School, is very well read, very intelligent. English is her thing.
I'm not. So you're saying I'm not qualified for this competition
But here's the deal. I threw it out there to her.
Okay.
And she was 100% all in, wants to do it, wants it to be part of this podcast, wants it to be pre-produced and we air it on the podcast. She wants in. She thinks it will be fun and great. And first of all, she has said how much she admires your love for grammar. So I think this would be fun. But you will be a real underdog, let me tell you. You'll be an underdog. But I think you could hold your own. We'll add like a timer element to it. So you got to be quick. You got to answer. You got to.
Look, when I came up with the idea, I don't even know what that looks like. How do you have a grammar competition? This isn't a spelling bee.
We will assign a very qualified, impartial third-party English teacher of some sort to create grammar questions. And it will be time. That's the thing. It will be time. So you don't get forever. You can't sit there and take a test. It'll be.
Is this a written test?
It'll probably be somewhat written, but like we'll show you the question or write it up on a projector. You have 10 seconds to answer. You show your answer. We award points. Something in that realm.
All right. I'm a terrible test taker. Terrible.
Well, it's not like
tests.
a real
I hated
test.
Scantron.
It's like trivia.
Do they still do Scantron? Is that a thing?
Oh, I'm sure. I'll have to ask. Oh, they don't.
It's all Google Chromebook now. I don't know that anything is written written down.
Man, you're much more apprehensive. I was like, he'll be all in. No questions asked. And you were like, me.
Well, I like to talk a big game, and then I realize, am I really going to? But yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm very confident in my grammar skills.
You're just not sure you can beat her.
Well, I'm sure I can't.
No.
But if I keep it close, that'll be impressive.
Yeah. We'll put a point spread on it. Maybe we can do like if you cover, that's a win.
Yeah.
Versus someone of her
caliber. If there are like 20 questions and she only beats me by 4, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah. But here's the deal. If we do it the way I said it, you can both get the answers right. So you could still get the answers right.
Yeah, I get that.
And we'll see how it goes. They're going to have to be pretty tough to stump either one of you.
Is this probably the most boring competition that has ever been wagered?
No, I love it.
A grammar competition?
No. And then she said she's going to have you on to teach a grammar little thing the first day of school to teachers.
Ooh.
So, we can.
Oh, to teachers.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. I don't know when this competition will take place, but it's
in the works.
It's going to be must-see TV for sure.